Hello, my dear friends. It's Sarah here. Come in, sit down, just breathe for a second. I'm so glad you're here today. Really. Maybe this week you've seen it everywhere. Father's Day posts, smiling photos, best dad in the world, cards, gifts, big happy words. And maybe you scrolled past them, quietly, without saying anything. Let me say this gently. If today is hard for you, you are not alone, and you are not broken for feeling this way. This episode is for the quiet ones, the ones who don't have a simple story about their father, the ones whose heart feels complicated on a day that's supposed to feel easy. We're going to sit with that feeling today. Not fix it, not rush it, just sit with it together. And we're also going to practice some gentle English along the way. Slow, clear, easy to follow. Before we go further, if this kind of space feels good to you, press follow or subscribe. Not because you have to, just so you don't lose this little corner. So next time you need a quiet moment, it's here, waiting for you. Okay, let's begin. Here's something most people don't realize. Grief isn't only for people who have died. Grief can also be for people who are still alive, still breathing, still walking around somewhere in the world. That's a strange kind of pain, isn't it? You can't quite explain it at a dinner table. You can't say, "I'm grieving my father," when your father is still here. People look at you confused, but he's alive, they say, as if that should be enough. But maybe it's not about whether he's alive. Maybe it's about whether he was ever truly there. There's a difference between a father's body and a father's presence. Some men give one without the other. Think of a chair by the window, empty, day after day. The chair is there, but no one sits in it. No one fills it with warmth. That's what distance can feel like. The shape of a father without the warmth of one. And so you grieve something unusual, not a death, an absence that kept happening again and again your whole life. Maybe he missed your school day. Maybe he was there, in the room, but his eyes were somewhere else. Maybe love came with conditions, or silence came instead of love. Let me say this slowly because it matters. That grief is real, even without a name for it, even without a funeral for it. It is still real. You don't need anyone's permission to feel it. And so, you've grieved something unusual, not a death, an absence that kept happening again and again your whole life. Maybe he missed your school day. Maybe he was there, in the room, but his eyes were somewhere else. Maybe love came with conditions, or silence came instead of love. Let me say this slowly because it matters. That grief is real, even without a name for it, even without a funeral for it. It is still real. You don't need anyone's permission to feel it. Maybe you've spent years trying to make sense of it, trying to understand why. Was it him? Was it you? Children often ask that second question first. Was it me? It wasn't you. A river doesn't stop flowing because a stone refuses to move. The river was always going to choose its path. That's about the river, not about the stone. His distance was about him, not about your worth. Say that with me quietly in your mind. It wasn't because I wasn't enough. We're going to keep walking through this together, slowly, gently. There's more I want to share with you. Maybe your story isn't about a father who left. Maybe he stayed. Maybe he was in the house every single day, and yet still far away. Distance doesn't always look like an empty chair. Sometimes it looks like a closed newspaper, held up like a wall. Sometimes it looks like a man who worked so much he forgot to ask how your day was. Sometimes it looks like silence at the dinner table, not a comfortable silence, a careful one. There are so many kinds of distant fathers. Let's name a few, gently, not to blame anyone, just so you feel seen. Some fathers are physically gone. They moved away, or they simply never came back. Some fathers are home, but emotionally closed, like a locked door. You can knock, but no one answers. Some fathers show love only through providing money, a roof, food on the table, and they believe that is enough. But a child's heart often needs something softer too, something spoken, something felt. And some fathers are kind, but distracted, busy with their own pain, their own past. Maybe nobody ever taught them how to be close to someone. Here's something gentle I want to offer you. Hurt people don't always know they're passing down hurt. That doesn't erase your pain. It doesn't make it okay. But sometimes, understanding the why can soften the weight you carry. Think of an old tree with a branch that grows a little crooked. The branch didn't choose to grow that way. Maybe the wind pushed it once, a long time ago, before it had the strength to stand straight. That doesn't mean the crooked branch didn't hurt the leaves growing near it. Both things can be true at once. He may have been shaped by something, and you were still affected by him. You're allowed to hold both, compassion for his story and grief for your own. You don't have to choose between understanding him and honoring your own pain. Let's keep going. Maybe there's a question that visits you sometimes, quietly, usually at night or in a quiet car or in a quiet room. What would it have felt like to be someone's favorite? To be picked up first, to be asked, "How are you really?" and someone actually waiting for the answer. That's such a small thing to wonder about and such a heavy thing to carry. Let me say this slowly. You were allowed to want that. Wanting closeness from your father was never too much. It was simply human. A child reaching for warmth is not a child asking for too much. A child reaching for warmth is just a child. Here's something most people don't realize. The ache you feel today isn't weakness. It's proof that some part of you still believes in connection, still believes love should feel safe. That part of you survived, even without him showing you what that looked like. Think of a plant that grew without much sunlight. Maybe it grew slower. Maybe it leaned strangely toward whatever small light it could find. But it still grew. It's still alive, still here. You grew too, even without enough light from him. And that's not nothing. That's quiet strength. So here's a small, soft reflection. No pressure, just a question to sit with if you'd like. What is one small kindness you can give yourself today that you once wished he had given you? Maybe it's a kind word. Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's simply allowing yourself to feel sad today without rushing to feel fine. You don't have to answer out loud. Just let the question sit with you for a moment. Maybe you're wondering what to do with all of this feeling, this grief with no name. Let me say this gently. You don't have to do anything with it today. You don't have to forgive him today. You don't have to call him today. You don't have to decide right now what kind of relationship you'll have with him going forward, if any at all. Healing isn't one big decision. It's not a door you slam shut or fling wide open in one dramatic moment. It's smaller than that, quieter than that. Think of closing a heavy door, slowly, carefully, not in anger, not with a loud bang, just pressing it shut gently until it clicks. You're not trying to hurt anyone, you're just choosing peace for yourself. That's what healing can look like, not a slammed door, a softly closed one. And here's something tender to remember. Closing that door doesn't erase your past. It doesn't pretend nothing happened. It simply means you're allowed to stop waiting by it. You're allowed to stop checking if today is the day he finally walks through. You can love the idea of what a father could have been, while gently releasing the weight of waiting for him to become it. That's not giving up, that's choosing yourself. And maybe in time you become for someone else what you once needed: a parent, a friend, a mentor, someone's safe place. Not because you have to prove something, but because you understand deeply what warmth means, since you searched for it for so long. Sometimes the people who received the least learn to give the most. That's not a small thing. That's quiet strength turned into love. So, my dear friend, if today brought up something heavy, I want you to know you're allowed to feel it, slowly, without rushing. There's no perfect ending to this kind of story, just gentle days, one after another. If this episode felt like a soft place to land, maybe you'd like to stay a little longer. Subscribe if you'd like. Not because you owe me anything, just so we can sit together again next time when you need it. Take care of your heart today. Be gentle with yourself. This is Sarah, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
The next gentle reminder you need is waiting for you.